Hello everyone. Let us have our discussion on data science using Python. In today's session, we are going to discuss logistic regression. This is a supervised learning algorithm. So, we have already discussed a few of the supervised learning algorithms in the earlier sessions, and in today's session, we will be discussing logistic regression. So, let us have some more details on it. So, what is logistic regression? It is a classification algorithm and it is used to assign observations to a discrete set of classes. So, the name, though it is similar with linear regression, the algorithm we have already discussed. So linear regression was all about regression problem, means there was the outcomes which were some continuous values, but logistic regression is going to do different thing. It is a classification algorithm, and here we have the outcomes are a discrete set of values and we are going to predict those outcomes. Okay, and it is a predictive analysis algorithm, so it is going to predict the possible outcome, and it is based on the concept of probability. We'll come in detail, so you will see that what we do actually, we try to calculate the probability of different classes of outcomes, and for the particular class where we get the maximum probability, we assign the predicted outcomes to that particular class. Okay, class means here I am trying to say that the possible targets values. Okay, there can be different types of logistic regression algorithm based on the type of outcome. So in case there are only two possible outcomes, suppose yes, no, 1, 0 type of outcomes, then it is called a binary logistic regression. When we have three or more categories, then it can be of different types. So you know already that categorical value can be of two types. One is the nominal data, one is the ordinal data. So ordinal data means suppose it is your grade, so it can be excellent and very good, then good, like that. So it is kind of a order. It always keeps some order in the meaning, but no, nominal data means when it is kind of gender of a person or the status of something, like that. So we cannot put some order in that, it can have some different values as some different meanings. So this type of data, when we are handling three or more categories without ordering, then it is termed as multinomial logistic regression, and when the categories are there with order, then it is called ordinal logistic regression. Okay, if you remember in linear regression, we followed the formula y equal to b plus mx, where x is the input and we are going to predict the outcome y based on the values of b, that means the bias or intercept, and then m, which was the coefficient or the slope, and the x, that is the input value. Okay, so that was the equation for linear regression, but the problem with that equation is that the value can go beyond 1, and here also it can go in the negative side beyond 0. So it can be any value in the negative range to positive range based on the values of my bias and coefficient and the input value. Okay, but the problem with this algorithm logistic regression, as I told, that it is based on probability, and probability of anything can range only between 0 and 1. So probability can be 0 or probability can be 1, and in between anything. So that we cannot achieve with linear regression. So for logistic regression, the formula is different. Here we use the sigmoid function. If you see, the function tells that sigmoid of t equal to 1 by 1 plus e to the power minus t, and if you frame it, you will always see that the value, if you can see that graph, that in the x axis we have plotted t and the y axis we have plotted sigmoid of t, and you can see that as the value ranges from, when the t value is from 0 to something here in the negative range, then it is the value is from 0.5 to it is decreasing, and then at 0 value of y it is fixed, means if we do more and more negative value of t, but the y-axis value is at 0 only. And if you go in the positive side of t value, you can see that as we increase the value of t, the value of sigmoid t also increases, and at some value of t, after some value, you can see that this line is fixed at the value of 1. So that means this y-axis value, it is ranging from 0 to 1, so it does not go beyond 1 and it does not go beyond 0. So that is very much applicable for us in case of calculating the probability. So that's why sigmoid function is used in logistic regression. And from the graph you can see that when the value of t is 0, then the sigmoid t is 0.5, and as the value of t is decreasing in the negative side, then it reduces and is fixed at 0, the y value, and as the value of t is increasing in the positive order, then after 0.5 it is increasing, and at some time it is fixed at 1. So that is how sigmoid function works. And now I'll see that how it is implemented for logistic regression. Okay, so here you can see that that we have already discussed that predicted output for linear regression is y equal to b plus mx, that we had done earlier. And now predicted output for logistic regression, y hat, if we consider that y hat is the predicted outcome, then y hat is equal to sigmoid of y. So it's like earlier it was only this linear equation, but now it is sigmoid of y, and it is 1 by 1 plus e to the power minus y, and we have just replaced the value of y with b plus mx. Okay, now decision boundary. So this is another concept. So you understood that whatever value we give here for b plus mx, the y hat value will range from 0 to 1. Now the problem is that when I get some probability, I have to decide, like that if there are two possible classes, I have to decide on which class this particular input set belong to, means what may be the predicted outcome. So to do that, we need to decide on some decision boundary. Okay, this equation you understand that y hat equal to, as you have seen in the earlier graph, sigmoid graph also, that if b plus mx is greater than 0, then y hat will be more than 0.5 and max value is 1, you know, and if b plus mx less than 0, then y hat will be less than 0.5, and it will be the minimum value will be 0 only, and actually when b plus mx equal to 0, then y hat will be 0.5. So I can keep this 0.5 as the decision boundary, and we can say that okay, if the probability is coming for a particular outcome, is the probability is coming as more than 0.5, then we can consider that okay, the possible outcome belongs to that particular class. Okay, that's how we decide on the decision boundary. Okay, so that is what here it is written. So based upon this threshold, the obtained estimated probability is classified into classes, and it can be linear or non-linear. Okay, so this threshold we can have some linear or non-linear functions can be there. Okay, next comes the cost function. So you know that as we are deciding on this predicted outcome, then how close it is to the actual outcome, we can find the difference, and that way we can find the cost function, and our aim is to minimize the cost function. In case of linear regression, we had done some mean squared error. So here we calculate the cost as cost equal to minus log of y hat when y equal to 1, and the cost is minus log of 1 minus y hat when y equal to 0. So that's how this cost is calculated, and if you just generalize these two values, I can come to this equation where cost of y hat comma y, that means y hat here is the predicted outcome and y is the actual outcome, then it can be termed as this equation. And if you just replace the value of y with 1, you will see that cost will come as this, and when we replace the value of y with 0 in this equation, then you will come to this. You can just try this. on your own, and you can find that these two values are coming from this general equation. Okay, so here you can see graphically that how this cost comes. So you can see here that here in the x-axis I have plotted hx. Hx is nothing but the predicted outcome, and here in the y-axis I have plotted cost. So first, this blue line, you can see that when hx equal to 0, then the cost goes to infinity, and when hx equal to 1, then the cost is 0. And for this green line, it is actually this value. So you can see that when green line, this hx equal to 0, then this cost is also 0, and when hx is 1, then the cost goes to infinity. Okay, so this is what it is written also here. So this is the first plot. You can see this blue line, it is written that when hx approaches 1, the cost is 0, and when hx nears 0, the cost is infinity, of course, because this is for this function is for y equal to 1 value. So when y equal to 1 and our predicted outcome is also 1, then the cost is 0, of course. And when our predicted outcome is 1 and when our predicted outcome is 0 and the actual outcome is 1, then the cost is very high. Okay, and the next plot is minus log of 1 minus hx. So this plot is actually for y equal to 0. So when the actual value is 0 and the model predicts 0, the cost is 0, of course. You can see here that this green line, you can see that when it is 0, the cost is 0. So when the actual value is 0 and the model predicts 0, the cost is 0, and the cost becomes infinity as hx approaches 1, because for this green line, it is something that for actual outcome is 1. So when actual outcome is when actual outcome is 0, then if our predicted outcome is 1, that means the cost is infinity. So when the predicted outcome is close to actual outcome, then the cost will be close to 0, and when the predicted outcome is different from the actual outcome, then the cost will be infinity. So this way the cost is calculated for logistic regression, and you know that we have to minimize the cost, and there are different ways. And in the next set of sessions, we will show you the logistic regression demo using sklearn functionality, and also we will see that how we can use the gradient descent approach. So gradient descent approach we have already explained and we have used for linear regression, and same concept we will implement through sklearn functionality for gradient descent for this logistic regression as well. So stay tuned, and thank you for now.